Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back with another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Wednesday, February 28th. We're on the European account, so according to that, the day is already ended too. So we made it to the amazing level of rank 20 on the European account. I already made that joke on the Asian account, which will get us 5 dust, 1 card, and the card back. The only difference is on the European account, we have a slightly different policy in which we turn the golden card backs into dust to get just regular cards, which we kind of now know because Hearthstone has changed the rules on us is not the right thing to do, and you should try to get a full golden collection. But in the short term, in the realistic time frame that you'll play this game, having more cards will keep you playing Hearthstone at the beginnings of your career of playing Hearthstone a lot more than having duplicate gold things. They've changed the rules also. I only have to win 5 games during the season chest, and I only have to win 5 ranked games to earn the card back. And let's see, is this Tavern Brawl gonna come? Yes. There's a free entry into a Tavern Brawl. We'll go ahead and make this our new favorite card back. So, wait, before we do this, let's go, let's see what we need to do. We have a Druid deck, win 3 games with a Shaman deck, or Pirates. Shaman Pirates? Druid Pirates? So this whole Tavern Brawl is specifically designed to make you waste your gold, by the way. And in the next 5 weeks or so, I estimate we will get our next expansion, so it doesn't seem like I'm gonna have enough gold to open 50 packs of classic cards and 50 packs of the new expansion. So probably on my main account, I will try to open the newest expansion and only, and then on my, let's see, it's like, what cards do I even have in this deck that I could play? What's the strategy? Like, yeah, on my European and Asian accounts, I'll probably buy classic card packs. So we'll more than likely be looking at something that falls in the lines of a 50 card pack of the new expansion and a 100 card pack opening of the original card packs. Do I have any cards here? Like, I've got nothing. So I don't like the fact that I've got nothing here. Let's see if we've got something better in the Shaman deck. Last time we were playing a Murloc Shaman deck. Let's see if we can play maybe an Overload Shaman deck. I have slightly better cards in this deck than others. Than the Asian deck. Let's see. That. that. Honestly, if I was going to make a Murloc deck, I should have used this. 8 damage to a minion. Resummon. These two. These two. I'm still missing a lot of overload things, however. Like, if I was playing my main deck and trying to make an overload shaman, it would work way better. I'd have way more cards. No, we don't need that. So not a very good overload deck, really. But all we're really trying to do is just play, get whatever reward we get. I managed to get rather lucky and get, I think, 3 victories on the Asian account here. If I even get 2, I'll be surprised. Just happily surprised. Mostly just trying to get this done. I'm not sure if I really want to cover 10% off sales at Good Old Games for the next 48 hours, but it's there, so take that for whatever it is. It's not a good sale, really, and it's a very select number of games. Neverwinter Nights 2 Complete, Crossing Souls, Legend of the Heroes Trails of the Cold Steel, Railway Empire, The Witcher 3 Game of the Year, Avernum 3, Ironclast, Hellblade, Sasuna's Sacrifice, and Jazz Jackrabbit. This is a PC Gamer affiliate link article, and so it's kind of directly built around the idea of just trying to get people to spend money. Let's see. Tragic Master says 7-1 with my mage so far. Need a break. Get rid of those jitters. Or get rid of the jitters. Congratulations, Tragic. I'm not sure I'll even make 7-1 on my main account, because frankly I just don't think I'm gonna care enough to try and find a top meta deck that I can play, which honestly even those numbers aren't. I can't even play a lot of those. Let's see. Not video game related, although it might be. Energizer has a product called the Energizer's PowerMax P16K Pro Smartphone Pack that has 16,000 milliamp hours in the battery, which it's hard to really know exactly how many that is in comparison, but it strikes me as that is probably a decent amount of power. And I'm always looking for battery packs that are as big as possible because of projects or just general uses, because I know then there will be a lot of batteries in them that you could take out and use for a do-it-yourself computer, build your own computer project, which has apparently become one of my new hobbies. And I need some draw cards if I was going to make a deck like this that is all around it's a phone, though. It's not like just a power pack, now that I'm reading it. Wow, that is crazy. It's a $750 smartphone that just has a ton of battery in it. Oh, well, that's not what I was looking for at all. So That's both not video game news and not what I wanted. Let's see, overload. Let's see. So one more mana crystal and I could make 3 copies of the friendly character. But I need that friendly character. Nintendo has confused fans by removing the eShop reviewing system a few days after launch. And Nintendo says it's evaluating the system. I imagine it's very possible that Nintendo found that the eShop was getting immediately and directly flooded with fake reviews, which happen all over the internet, and they were not finding an easy way to correct that or fix it. Darn it. I desperately needed that to stay aligned. Seems like their rating system had 5 stars and tags that would come up randomly, or recommended tags that then they would ask you to click on. Then you could put a headline, title, and then a comment, and then you could describe yourself as a Nintendo fan, core game, casual player, or parent, and then a checkbox for does this contain any spoilers, which I would argue is not the greatest way to open that door, that some reviews will just not be seen or shared because there's spoilers in them. I don't want to encourage people to put spoilers in their games just so that people don't review it. A old program I used a long time ago called InfraNView has updated. There's this more tech spot reporting, where TechSpot is talking about technology more than anything. You probably don't need InfraNView unless you're going to convert a lot of images, scan a lot of images, create a slideshow, or batch process a bunch of images. It does work pretty well, and I think it's free. So it's just kind of surprising it got an update at all, because it really does feel like one of those things that is always already perfect. There was quite a few apps that are already perfect, and changing them is just a bad idea. For instance, Paint from Microsoft Windows, in my opinion, was perfect, so there was really no reason for them to change it to Paint 3D, and they had already changed Paint once before. They changed how the top bars worked into a new system that I didn't like. Let's just go ahead and hit this, and then the turn. And I lose. Moving on news. Cevat, CEVAT space Yerli, YERLI, has stepped down as the CEO and president of Crytek. Apparently he was a little controversial. He quoted controversy in a 2014 Eurogamer interview by suggesting unpaid employees were being impatient. Well, he'll be succeeded by his brothers Avni and Farouk, who will be taking the role in a joint capacity. So a lot of nepotism happening in Crytek's management structure, clearly. The change in leadership came shortly after the launch of the competitive multiplayer Hunt Showdown, which was developed alongside the CryEngine at the studio's Frankfurt office. Like, isn't Crytek also owned by a parent company like Tencent now? In February 2017, the company laid off 15 employees in Frankfurt after scaling back its publishing operations, and just before shuttering 5 studios in an attempt to refocus its business operations. So it's definitely struggling as a company. That is the only generous way I could describe that, is a struggling company. Crytek hasn't made a new Crisis game in a while, and that was kind of the only thing that led them to be in the position they are now, which is probably too high of a position. In the modern day parlance, I would probably describe Crytek as a indie company, something like PUBG, where the creators of PUBG, the PUBG Corporation, are going to have a hit on their hand. Crisis was a hit, but that doesn't immediately mean that everything they do going forward will be a hit, or that they will do anything going forward that will be a hit or be a video game at all. Let's see. In December 2016, multiple reports suggest the firm was once again failing to pay its employees on time. So, like, consistent problematic issues happening at Crytek. Which is weird, because if you had asked most game developers 5 to 10 years ago whether they might be programming on the CryEngine, and that instead of it being Unreal and Unity as the 2 major engines that people use, Crisis, it would have probably been something closer to Crisis and the CryEngine and Unreal, and Unity probably wouldn't have really been thought of as a competitor at all. Let's hit this one. Twitter is going to roll out bookmarks to let you keep saved tweets private. Easier sharing of content to promote activity. This is very good information for me, as somebody who would like to have more of a Twitter following and not have everything YouTube and YouTube related. Particularly since I kind of flippantly decided to wait 90 days after I said I was only going to wait 30 days to see if Twitch would delete my videos if I uploaded them there. Twitter, I do want Twitter to be a backup communication. I don't want to have to deal with Facebook. I don't want to put videos on Facebook. But in all honesty, I'd probably get more views if I was focused around advertising on Facebook. Let's just not use that and end the turn. Let's see. In order to make saving and sharing previous tweets easier, Twitter is introducing bookmarks. The share button, now found on each message, allows for tweets to be bookmarked for later. Sharing directly from each tweet can be done via direct message or via the ways of off of Twitter via messenger apps. So there's an add tweet to bookmarks. Apparently there's also add tweet to moment option. Man, all these secrets. All these secrets. Let's see. Another advantage of bookmarking is it makes it possible to easily save content without indicating that you may be showing approval for the content of a tweet. I suppose that would be very helpful. Say somebody tweeted something very rude or a death threat to me or something like that. I could now bookmark that without retweeting it or hearting it, both of which are public actions. There is no option to show disapproval of content by design, leaving few other options to easily save posts. Yeah, most people nowadays would just take a screenshot of it, and that's about all you could do. And that's not the easiest thing in the world to do on a PC. You have to run the Twitter app, however, to use it, and I don't use the Twitter app. Let's see. Somebody's asking me, Deadshot Vet is asking me if I'm streaming. Let's see. But I decided to respond to that. Pretty much you can assume if I am playing Hearthstone, I am streaming, because over the years of playing Hearthstone, I've developed a lack of appreciation of just playing this game for fun. It feels way too much like a grind nowadays, but it works kind of for the process and the reason that I chose it to be the blog vlog / now news videos, and I haven't really found any reason to consider switching to something like Gwent or some other element. Let's see. There's a PC Gamer has an article called "Fight Giant Boars, Spiders, Crabs, Evil Trees in Battle Princess Madeline Boss Montage. Ghosts and Ghouls and Looking Good." Let's see. Is Battle Princess Madeline the female version of Ghosts and Ghouls? And that's how he was selling it the whole time, is that it was kind of this very cheap using of his daughter. Let's see, they just said how old he was. His 7-year-old daughter, who very possibly at some point asked, "Why can't I play as a girl in Ghosts and Ghouls, Ghosts and Goblins?" And then he used that as the heavy kind of SJW argument to promote his new game, which, I mean, it really didn't inspire confidence in me, if I'm just gonna be honest and fair about it. When somebody's using potentially important, probably important, yeah, definitely important social issues of gender representation, equality in video games, which, let's be honest, there are a lack of female character options compared to male character options in video games. But when you're just using that to sell a product, that's not good. And what's weird is we've only seen this, more and more companies do that, where every like Black Panther is an important movie everybody should go see and give 100% Rotten Tomatoes to, because it's a nearly completely African American cast, or African cast. I guess maybe not all of the actors are African American, and people will certainly fall for that. The Ghostbusters remake was, you have to like the new Ghostbusters movie, or you're a sexist. There's been many instances in the movie industry of people using important topics to just force people to buy products. And again, that's what this felt like. I'm getting into a bit of a rant. The game itself looks fine. In all honesty, the original videos that they were showing and teasers looked fine too. Let's see. It's Battle Princess Madeline has been delayed, but it's now expected out in April. There's a Kickstarter post talking about the delay. So there's really not too much more to talk about this game. In fact, there really isn't even a reason why this should be getting advertised right now. When it was first announced, it was news, certainly, and when it was delayed, it would have been news, certainly. But when neither of those things have happened, and it's just you want to advertise something, or they've paid you to advertise this game with Kickstarter money or whatever, this is more of that not news segment, which we kind of not done the not news segment on my channel in a while, because it eventually became kind of obvious that 90% of everything is not news. Moving on, Your Game has an article. Blizzard has confirmed that Torboin's daughter Bridget is the next Overwatch hero. Offers first details. There is a video called New Hero Coming Soon, Bridget Origin Story Overwatch. That it's another cutesy looking animated thing. Showing Torborn's daughter growing up with Torborn, and also patching up his very scarfed back. It's flashing forward and now showing her build her own pieces of armor and being very battle worn too, and trained. I don't fully know what the story is for Overwatch, so I have no clue what has forced entire generations and their next generations, in the instance of Torborn and his daughter, to fight. Like, in the Overwatch being the type of game it is, it feels like they're at constant war over and over again. Deadshot came on the chat, said, Tragic Master, you still there? He might be there. He should. I would guess he's still watching. He may have taken a break. Let's see. Let's see. In a weird way, I imagine Bridget is going to just have features that they would have easily given to Torborn, but they didn't really have a good reason to give an existing character. new abilities, so instead they decided to create a very similar character with slightly different abilities. That's kind of the exact opposite of how Hearthstone did it, because Hearthstone has like the hero replacement cards, whereas I would prefer if by now, since we are several years since Hearthstone came out, it would have been nice if we were up to 18 hero types with different hero abilities from the word go. Sticking with the 9 main characters is ridiculous, and the face replacements only are a visual thing. They don't change your abilities. They don't. I'm fine with there being 2 shamans with 2 different hero types, and that's it. And then they still play the same shaman cards, but it would spice things up and keep things some interesting. Tragic Master did come on and said, "Yo, Deadshot." So he is here. Moving on, PC Gamer has an article called "David Lynch Teaches Typing is Exactly What It Sounds Like." I don't know who David Lynch is. It's an itch game, so it's like a free. I think David Lynch is. David Lynch is famous for writing and directing such works as Twin Peaks and Eraserhead. Okay, I know who that is now. It's like I know his movies. I just don't know his name. To say nothing of his fabulous hair. Let's see. Yeah, this is not really a article or anything. I mean, I guess if you want to play a really weird demo of a game, it seems like there's just a trial version right now. It seems like it's a joke of a game. You can play David Lynch Teaches Typing. In a serious typing game certainly needs to be developed. Like, if I have to go back in my memory all the way to Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing to think of a modern recognizable typing game, that's a problem. I have no idea what software, if any software, is being used in schools these days. You would think there would be an Apple Teaches Typing, a Google Teaches Typing, something that would expand a brand. Microsoft Teaches Typing would also be a decent brand expanding idea. I'm playing all these cards. I don't even think I have a goal that says play cards. I'm about to lose. Let's see. Deadshot says, both of you guys, what seems to be most predominant type of deck in terms of being controlled mid-range aggro decks in the Brawlsome? I'll leave Tragic Master to respond there because I honestly have not been paying attention, and he's clearly better than me because he's at 7-1. If I was to guess, if you were actually playing here, the top meta decks for Wild are probably being played for people who really want to win on these things. Which is inherently the problem with Hearthstone in general, is that it's so easy for people to just go online, look up the top meta decks, if they've got the cards, make those meta decks and play them. And there's way too many streamers and way too many people with too much money that are doing that. There's not a lot of room for doing something different, doing something interesting. The there's no spin or twist on these really. It's just a wild arena deck run. That's all it is. So there's no reason why they wouldn't just be playing the wild meta decks. The only thing I've proven so far is that playing on my European account and doing an Overload Shaman deck is not as successful as playing a Murloc deck on the Shaman. Tragic Master says, I'm running a Naga Giant Demon Lock plus a Lunith Mage. And literally I have no clue what that means. Like, you know, I was really thinking about how much Hearthstone just doesn't let me play the way I want to play and how annoying it is. Like, I just want to go my own route, make my own deck, play in some kind of single player experience against some downright dumb people and dumb AI people, and just feel like I'm actually good at this game even though I know I suck at it. And there's just no opportunity to do that. You are constantly forced to play either casual or ranked, either wild or standard, and no matter what you do, you will lose at least 50% of the time, which is just not fun. Let's see, we opened a... What was that? Was that another Gnomes versus... What is it? Kobold's deck that I just opened? No, it was a classic deck this time. And that explains why I had slightly more duplicates than the other one. Alright. Let's move on now. We need... I literally made no progress on anything, and I need to get at least 2 of these things done, so let's find if I have a Druid class deck or anything. We have custom Druid here. Is it full of Druid cards? Yes, it is. So let's play that. Now, we're in a good position now, however, because I don't have to play to rank 20 if I don't want to. I can just start at rank 25, which is, I believe, the lowest possible rank on Wild, and just get 5 victories, and that's it. What? Never seen that error before. Okay, what do I do now? Let's see. Deadshot said, well, yeah, I'm kind of sad to hear that. But, to be honest. Yeah. And then he said, we all wish. Classic aggro Shamany is pretty good versus control locks. I mean, we have dungeon runs, but that's not as satisfying as crushing noobs. Yeah. But also, inherently, I don't want to be in a position where I'm having fun because I'm ruining the experience for the other half of the players. So, but in all honesty, I probably should be, at least on my European and Asian account decks, since they are new decks. I probably should be matched up with brand new players. But honestly, I want brand new players to get some free victories too. I'm wondering if maybe they just need to add some win conditions where both people win. How about it's kind of crazy, but how about on ranked play, if both people, if you run out of cards, you both people win, or if both people get their health down to 0 at the same time, both win in a tie. You wouldn't do it that way. Clearly, there would be a better way to phrase that. What it should do is, win or lose, it should give you a number of stars on ranked play. Yeah, that would work. Like, you get 1 star for losing on ranked play if you go to a certain level, and you go to you get like 3 stars if you, man, this is just broken, isn't it? Let's see if we can play. I don't know if I can even play. Try this. No, you cannot play wild. You cannot play ranked right now. Interesting. Yeah, instead of having people lose stars, it should just be a race to an infinite number. So whoever is legendary rank 1 just has the most amount of stars, and whoever just plays has the most amount of stars. It's effectively the same. It just leaves people who are not playing down at having only at 0 stars, and anybody that plays a way to grind up and move. I probably in a month do play enough Hearthstone where I should be, if I was getting at least 1 star every game, I should probably be somewhere around rank 15 or rank 10 either. It's just that I get very frustrated with these losing streaks. I get frustrated with games that take way too long, and I'm just never paying enough attention because I'm covering the news and streaming. Let's see, ditch. I mean, they kind of seek to fix that issue with the new ranking patch. Yeah, I just don't think they have succeeded there. My experience Monday was pretty awful. So, any updates that they've done, they still haven't done it. Tragic Master says Diablo 2 did that ranking system. Bots ruled the leaderboards for all the time since then. Yeah, but from my perspective, I don't care about bots. I just care about my experience. So, like, leaderboards in most games are full of cheaters anyway, so that's not really an issue. And certainly, if they required that you get at least 1 player down to 15 before you got something, they could help weed out most bots. Anyways, to summon a minion, gain some health. Tragic Masters, but the bots would all be playing each other at high ranks anyways, so it could work. Yeah. Pretty much, even with any bots, all you can do is make the process slightly time consuming, so somebody who is running those bots have to pay for power and electricity and CPU processing to run them. You could certainly also block IPs of bots and do some things to try and fix it, but there will always be bots. As long as you're not doing as bad a job as Clash Royale is doing with bots, you're probably doing fine with bots. And real world cheaters are a way different and worse issue than bot cheating. Like the real world cheaters are ruining PUBG from what I hear, where if there was a few bots running around and allowing themselves to get shot in PUBG, I doubt people would even notice. Could have done 5 damage instead of 4, but I guess that doesn't matter. Ubisoft has done something kind of weird here. There's a Gamma Sutra article called Ubisoft acquires Is It Love developer 1492 Studios. So the name of the game is It Love ? The studio is 1492 Studios. It's a French developer behind a mobile romance game franchise, Is It Love. Neither part disclosed specific terms of the deal, instead saying that the acquisition was completed today and effective immediately. It's 1492 Studios is headquartered in Montpellier, France. Ubisoft is a French company. Is It Love is a free-to-play mobile game franchise. The narrative-based series includes several episodic romance-themed visual novel titles for Android and iOS. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a 100% attempt to just continue to grow the market value of Ubisoft so Viacom can't take them over. Or grow the market value and increase the price for stocks of Ubisoft so that Viacom would have to spend more than they're willing to. Here's the quote. A few months ago, an exceptional opportunity presented itself to us. We met with the Ubisoft team who wanted to work with us in the long term to develop Is It Love. They want to make the most of our creative vision and the series potential. The notion of collaboration and our sense that Ubisoft shared many of our values convinced us. Now that Ubisoft has acquired the studio, Tybud, I guess that's the guy's name, and I will continue the adventure of Is It Love, keeping our autonomy, but also having the resources of one of the world's largest and most talented video game companies by our side, supporting us and helping us grow. So if anybody was a fan of this Is It Love series that I've never heard of, it's possible that you might see some microtransactions being added to it, assuming there aren't microtransactions in it already. But I wouldn't be surprised if this was really just a way for them to acquire a game that they don't really care about, but instead acquire some people who have some knowledge in the mobile game market. And visual novels from Ubisoft seem pretty crazy, honestly. Like, I don't see how that works. Imagine an Assassin's Creed Origins visual novel or mobile game in the form of a visual novel. That doesn't really make sense. And while Ubisoft does have a few small indie things it releases and publishes, like, it's really all over the board. Let's go ahead and kill this Hinderton. Let's see. Deadshot said a while ago, yeah, but if you had infinite stars, imagine the reward system. Blizzard would have to have some kind of variety after hitting a certain ranking, considering thousands of slots. You know what I mean? No, because you just cap it at legendary, like, which I assume that's the case anyways. Is having never bothered to watch anybody in the month on legendary, at most I imagine they're getting 5 little packages like us. They're getting maybe 100 or 200 dusts, maybe 3 card packs at total. Tragic Master said, could you send me your tag name battle on battle.net? No, that was Deadshot. Tragic said it, his name. Hey, I finally fixed the hashtag issue. People can now put hashtags on my channel. YouTube wasn't letting me do that for quite a while for some reason, and now I can find people can finally put links and hashtags in my chat. So Tragic number 1620 if you want to friend Tragic. Remember, however, Deadshot, that Tragic remember Tragic that Deadshot is on the European server right now, as am I, so that may not be your main way you play. Let's see if I see Tragic here. Yeah, I don't see a Tragic. Tragic typed hashtag love me some hashtags. Yep. It's not even like the... Yeah, Tragic says I'm on the North American server, so... Yeah, you could send him friend requests, but one of you two, if you're going to play each other, are going to have to switch over to making a new account deck. Moving on with the news, Gamma Sutra has an article, Drawn to Death developer Bartlett Jones, which was a very strange name for a company in the first place, has shut down. Drawn to Death, not a success. The studio was co-founded by the God of War and Twisted Metal game director David Jaffe, and it's been struggling for a while. It laid off the vast majority of its staff back in January after one of its upcoming projects was cancelled. Jaffe broke the news in a tweet. Sadly, we're shutting down our Bartlett Jones offices before offering to give away some of the studio's props and relics for free. And he's like giving away IGN awards and such, which honestly, if he has any debtors whatsoever, he's probably violating the law. I mean, if you owe anybody any money and you're shutting down your company, that the office furniture, the coffee machine, the awards, all of those things very possibly are property of the corporation, and thus property of anybody who loaned you money. You might be able to argue that some awards were given personally to specific people, but this is not the right way to do things when shutting down a company. Yeah, Deadshot says, "Oh well, that sucks." You can still friend people though. You can still chat through the Blizzard app, even if you can't play them. Let's see. PC Gamer has an article, Democrats introduce bill to restore net neutrality rules, but it's probably doomed. I would guess that's probably the truth. There's a way that Congress can countermand decisions made by the FCC. Something I'd never even heard of, that there was a way to do that, but I think AT&T's bribed / lobbied enough people to get away with destroying net neutrality. And it's not just AT&T, it's also Comcast, Verizon. I'm sure Sprint and T-Mobile probably are ready to destroy it too. Let's see, it's called the Internet Freedom Order, is what they call the repeal of net neutrality, and it's been enrolled and it's effective April 23rd. So unless Congress before April 23rd votes to countermand that, net neutrality is gone, and AT&T has plans already in the works, I'm certain of it, to do everything in this it possibly can to charge customers more for the same internet. In fact, AT&T specifically is changing its like unlimited internet on the cell phones, probably preemptively making it look cheaper just to get more customers so that they can change the rules on you later, I imagine. Let's see. Sega accidentally released a glitched demo of Yakuza 6 that included access to the full game. Which arguably means that anybody who downloaded the 36 gigabyte download can just continue to play the game forever unless there's unless there's some way that they can delete it off of PlayStation 4s, which maybe there is. Apparently the entire game was supposed to be the demo, but there was supposed to be a mechanism to only play for 24 hours, which also I guess means you could have played the demo from beginning to end and speedrun the game. That's a big screw up on Sega's part. It's worth mentioning again that Gamasutra is the place where video game developers put out blogs that only really apply to other video game developers. And I want to say that first because there's this article called Being Indie at the Taipei Gaming Show that I wanted to mention, but I also kind of have to be realistic and admit that there's a very low number of people that are going to have any reason whatsoever to read that article. Let's do that, and then do this, and then do this, and then do this, and this, and then this, and then the turn. So I'm not going to bother to read this article either. I'm scrolling through it. Like, being an indie at the Taipei Gaming Show doesn't mean much to me. We've got somebody with a Japanese name that says clams are people, crabs are people, legit or quit. I have no idea what that means, and clearly factually inaccurate. Moving on, PC Gamer has an article, Hearthstone's Year of the Raven getting in-game tournaments. Ice Block is being sent to the Hall of Fame. And so this is one of 3 cards are going to the Hall of Fame. The 20 mana version of Molten Giant. So they had already changed Molten Giant once and nerfed it to be a 25 mana version. And so if you had Mana Giant and then you turned it back for the regular amount of dust, and then you got Molten Giant again through classic card packs, which is very possible that happened. Now you are at the worst case scenario going to be able to turn it back into dust again, or it seems like you might be able to just get dust for free no matter what if you have these Hall of Fame cards. And depending on how many of the Hall of Fame cards, if you have 2 Molten Giants in Classic and 2 Molten Giants in the Golden variants, you might get more dust. The other 2 cards are Cold Light Oracle going to Wild. That kind of sucks because he's a Murloc that I like to play, and I think a lot of people like to play it, but that is probably why it's going into... What was this card? Give a minion +3. And then Ice Block. And I'm very happy to see Ice Block go. I think most meta deck players are going to be very upset about Ice Block going. Ice Block is the mage secret that gives you immunity if you're about to die. Like, I'm tired of feeling like I'm about to win in a game against a mage and then having them play Ice Block and then feeling like I'm going to win the next turn and having them play the second Ice Block and them being able to then discover a third copy of Ice Block, and like, it's just not great. It's not a great experience even on the first instance to run into a mage with Ice Block. There's a picture here talking about tournaments. It's a picture called Stone Bruise Tourney. It has a time. It says Sunday 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. I imagine this is an example. You have a Swiss tournament created by a player. It says created by Maxima, and it has a max of 6 players, 3 decks, last hero standing. So there's potentially a opportunity, instead of doing these fireside gatherings where you have to actually physically go somewhere, you'll just be able to create a tournament for a region, or just, so I guess in my case I'd either be part or all of the United States, and then people will jump in that and play it. There may be daily quests that require us to play in tournaments, which might suck because that might take longer than usual. So they're also saying easier and more rewarding daily quests. I log in every day to eke out a little gold by doing my dailies, but it's slow grind. Things are going to get a bit easier in the Year of the Raven. I think the Year of the Raven argument name is dumb. Personally, I would like to see them just adopt the Year of, like, this is the Chinese Year of the Dog, so why not just call it the Year of the Dog? By the time you get back to the next Year of the Dog, which is like 12 years from now, isn't it? You could call it the Year of the Dog again, or Year of the Wolf, or something. But for them to pick random animals from World of Warcraft, I assume there's... Well, I guess there's probably a decent collection of other animals in World of Warcraft. Do I want to give my minions +1/+1? Not right now. Let's see. Blizzard is making quests easier to compete and gives a better payout. Once the change kicks in, what were previously 40 gold quests will now be 50. Examples of them getting easier including changing the 3 wins with a particular class to 2, and playing 50 cards of a certain class become 30. Bode said that the expectation is that players will be able to earn half a pack per day on average. That is nice. However, slightly questionable if he's adding a potential like half a pack per day on average, because you're going to play and get 3 wins and get 10 gold that way too. But 75 gold per day compared to 60 gold at best on average, which it's not 60 on average, because I teeter between 60 daily quests, 60 gold daily quests, and 40 gold daily quests. Alright, this one, this. And we'll just play this. Let's see. Is there anything else? It probably won't be enough to quell the debate around the cost of Hearthstone, which PC Gamer is linking to another article, the cost of Hearthstone, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, particularly if you follow our crafting tips, which I may look at PC Gamer's crafting tips. Hearthstone is too expensive, clearly. Like it's impossible to make an argument against that. Like, it is too expensive. Increasing the amount of gold is good. That will speed up the process of me catching up as somebody who got into Hearthstone on my America account maybe a year after the beta came out. Maybe I got into it right a few months after the beta came out, but even at that point, people who had been in since day one in the beta and people who had spent money on the game, a lot of money, were clearly having a better experience. Let's see. That was not what I meant to do. But whatever. This card's not that good, actually. Druid's gonna get its own skin. This Druid skin is like a Daedra or a Minotaur lady in like seashell bra. It's showing a lot of skin, considering Hearthstone, I felt, was trying to show itself to be kid friendly. Something that you didn't have to be afraid of your child playing, and depending on the age of the child, I feel like you might have to be a little concerned about that. Not really. I mean, it's just showing a belly button. Same. It's showing the same amount of skin you'd see on the beach in a 2-piece bikini, but it seems like an odd choice. And then they have like a teaser picture for the Year of the Raven out, but it just has some symbols that are implying what the new card packs for the 3 expansions are. So the in general ideas are they're still doing the things that you would expect to improve Hearthstone. They're not going backwards, but they're not making any giant leaps that they kind of needed to make the game easier for new players, which is still a major problem, and just more fun for us bad players down at rank 25. And it'd be nice if they fix some things too. It's like I can't even play ranked right now because some crazy thing is going on. So we'll move on. The PC Gamer's article, Tips for Coping with the Cost of Hearthstone. Crafting your cards right, exercise some self-control, and the games needn't be so eye-wateringly expensive. But you're still probably going to have to you're still going to have to pay money, probably. There's a quote here, a good rule of thumb is that you will only need about a third of any given set. Seems about right. Deal 1 damage and... Nope. Fine, deal 1 damage and move forward. Deal 1 damage and draw another card. Play this and an end of turn. Epics. Under the category of epics, it says of the 9 neutral and 18 class epics, I'd say the list includes Skulling Geist, Corpse Taker, Ultimate Infestation, and Obsidian Statue. The first 2 are only played in French classes. UI is played in some Ramp and Jade Druid, and statues are only played in Big Priest. Realistically, then, you may think about crafting several total epics, since Geist is usually one of them, but you don't really need to craft any if you aren't playing those Druid or Priest decks. That's either 47 or 54 fewer epics if you only want to be completely competitive, or about 21,000 less dust. So they've just listed on the classics the epics that they consider worth playing, and I have a hard time really agreeing with them though. It's like, do you want to play Hearthstone or not? Like, if like I want all the classic epics to at least have that option. I've never looked at a Hearthstone card and said, boy, do I not want this. I've looked at Hearthstone cards and gone, if I disenchant this, I can get 5 more common cards and get more variety, but I totally want variety because I don't want to play the top meta games. And this strategy they're suggesting really only works on if you're going to play the top meta decks that you didn't build yourself. I need to play 2 more. It's been many minutes. Deadshot Vet asks, what's your opinion on the Hunt game by Crytek, previous developers of the Crisis games? I saw some news about it, but I have literally no opinion on it because I've not seen any content. I may bring up an article here in a few minutes talking about it, but that'll be the first time I see any pictures of it or anything like that. Like, I could wildly guess that the Hunt game was a survival game in the forest where you're hunting but also being chased by monsters, but I could be thinking of any other game. Like, I know there's a game like that I've seen recently, but that may not be the Hunt. So sorry, until I look it up. I guess we could look it up right now and just answer the question instead of passing the buck. The Hunt game. Yes, let's be responsive. Is it Hunt Showdown? Yeah. Watch the trailer. Early access now available. You're a bounty hunter, it says. And it's a Western shooting game with you kill monsters for gold. Compete against other players. Yeah, I saw this trailer like a week ago, and that was the first time I'd ever seen it. Is that when they first released this trailer? Death is permanent. I don't know how they were gonna deal with that. And a bunch of gear. The idea doesn't look terrible. Maybe people smarter than me will make the argument that people don't actually want to play Western first-person shooters because the guns are too slow. But then that also contradicts against people playing like World War II games where the guns were slow. It has, according to the trailer, there's some kind of magic element too. You can get boss monsters, spiders crawling on the roof, moving really fast. With this not being a Crisis game, it looks like a nice evolution of a fast-paced first-person shooter for the Crisis developers. And it takes out the element of the Crisis games where that's set in a certain time frame with a guy wearing alien armor, I believe is what he was wearing. Let's see, can we do anything else? No, let's end it. Let's go to the Hunt Showdown on Steam and look at the reviews, because the reviews are mixed. Let's look at the negative reviews. 1 hour to get in the game, plays 10 minutes and then dies, can't find match. Don't bother wasting your money on this half-baked game. Concept is good, but it's executed so poorly. Hit registration is bad. Movement is clunky. Movement is clunky and is insanely unoptimized. I'm sure this game will be good in the future, but it runs like absolute poop currently. Matchmaking doesn't work. Worst $30 in my life. Fun when it works, horrible when it doesn't. So, yes, there's just problems with it. And I would be able to overlook an early access game having problems, except for now we know that Crytek is completely shutting down. Wasn't that the news? So this game is never going to get polished one way or the other. Like, whether it was shutting down, whether they fired a bunch of people. I know they said something along those lines. Let's just keep on attacking. And so yeah, Deadshot said it's okay, man, you don't have to apologize. I really kind of do. Like, in this instance, as a YouTube personality, it's my job, and as a video game critic, it is my job to have an opinion on games. And if somebody asks me their opinion directly on a game, I need to look up the information and respond directly, not just just give an excuse for or be lazy, that's really what I was doing. I was just being lazy. Then I could have looked it up, and my first instinct was not to do that. Let's see. And this goes, wait, what? Crytek is shutting down? Let me look up that information, because I might be talking under my butt about that. I could have sworn that I just saw some news. Oh, no. No, I'm confused. Crytek's not shutting down. The CEO of Crytek stepped down and let his brothers take over the role. So yeah, let me get my facts straight here. Sorry. Yeah, Crytek's not shutting down, but the CEO stepped down and his brothers are taking control. That still is in general the same issue, where they're not in a good position, where the CEO of Crytek has been in trouble for a long time. They've not been paying their employees, or there's been allegations that they weren't paying their employees on time. They fired a lot of people. So while it's not actually shutting down confirmed, it's probably going to be shut down in less than a year, and that is going to be an issue. So my recommendation on purchasing the Hunt is absolutely do not purchase it if it's cheap. Take it if it's free always, but I mean, in all realisticness, that game is probably never getting any other work on it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, you might have a THQ Nordic type thing happen, where Crytek falls apart and then gets acquired by somebody. Hopefully not THQ Nordic, because they have enough games on their plate already. But maybe some other company takes over and works on the Hunt. The Hunt as a concept works. You could certainly, though, make a game called Alone in the Dark that was the same concept and use the Alone in the Dark reference. You could use an Alan Wake license to do a similar game too. Both Alone in the Dark and Alan Wake are set in more modern times, but you could do a prequel and have it follow the same concept. You could do a Silent Hills game set in a prequel time. That would be actually really, really cool if Silent Hills happened before Silent Hill the city was established. Let's see, getting back to the legendaries, according to PC Gamer, of the 5 neutral and 18 class legendaries, they say between 6 and 8 of them are seeing play. Prince Kelsith, the Lich King, Alduin, Thrall, and Malfurion are the big ones, but again, most of these are class specific and not necessarily vital with any class. Assuming you want all the popular and fringe ones, that's still 15 fewer legendaries that you'll have to craft for, or 24,000 dust. Simply put, most cards in any set do not see serious play. A good rule of thumb is that you only need about a third of any of the given set if you want to make every single meta deck. Yeah, so when you have people just playing meta decks and only purchasing or playing or seeing a third of the cards, that means 2/3 of all the content that Blizzard makes in every expansion is just being wasted on those people, and they're not having the same experience as me, who wants to experience all of the content, because I'm a little obsessive and want to do like a 100% collection on cards. Tip 1 on how to play Hearthstone or improve your experience: don't focus on every class, which that's kind of impossible to do if you're trying to do the daily quest and get things to happen. Draw another card. I'm about to lose, but whatever. Like, you can't do the daily quests. Do realize there are very few must-craft cards. Honestly, though, I feel like that's really true, but it also it makes it difficult to play a meta deck when they have something like Reno Jackson, because then you as a player who hasn't put any actual thought into making your own decks and are just playing other people's meta decks that are shared online, that introduces the idea that well, I want to play something like Reno Jackson, but I don't know what that would be, because I've never thought for myself. I've just played, I guess play overload cards for a shaman deck. I don't know how long I've been going to. I think I keep accidentally hitting the wrong button on my timer. So let's see if my timer is running. No, it's not. Yep. So I should have stopped several minutes ago and broken up the recording, but I'll do it after this game. Don't spend too much money on one set, says PC Gamer. I agree. Wait to craft. Patience is important here. In every expansion, there will be mini cards hyped up that ultimately end up falling flat. So don't craft games at the beginning of the expansion. Tip 5, shun the wacky. I can't agree with that. And then look out for deals for Amazon coins. Amazon periodically runs promotions for its coins, which can be spent on in-game purchases. Assuming you have an Android device with Hearthstone on it, you can get a discount on the cost of pack bundles by buying the coins at a cheaper rate. As of November 14th, there's a 25% saving currently on it. I know that Kriperian buys all of his things through coins, and I think he gets coins somehow through fans or something. I don't do that. I'm not sure if you can use Amazon coins, however, to gift packs to other people, if that's a cheaper way to do it. Like, it's probably worth pointing out that I really didn't give much consideration to the idea of trying to monetize my channel by asking people to gift me cards in Hearthstone. I would much prefer a random 99-cent terrible game on Steam over card packs. Now, if people want to see me open card packs or do slightly better, ever so slightly better on Hearthstone, I'm not going to refuse or be unappreciative if people give card packs, but I'm not really begging for that. I'm trying to limit my e-begging down to as little as possible while still trying to run this channel like a business. So PC Gamer's article on how to improve your experience in Hearthstone really only works if you are going to play meta decks and try and win. It doesn't work or even think about or talk about how to experience the game and have more fun while experiencing the game, which kind of sucks. Combined gaming came online to say I love this game. Okay, good. I'm glad some people love Hearthstone. I wouldn't play it if everybody hated it. I might, actually, but I probably wouldn't. Moving on, Gametsu has an article for a game called Happy Birthdays that launches June 5th in North America, June 8th in Europe. It's a Switch version of Birthdays the Beginning, which looks like a cutesy game where you play as a variety of animals. That's not quite who I would have liked to hit, but we'll see what happens. In Japan, Happy Birthday is will launch March 29th. It's a sandbox game in which players create cube-shaped worlds that they give rise to diverse and unique life forms. With careful experimentation, players can shape the geography and alter the temperature. So it's like one of those God games, but it's more, I think, around the idea of creating a rich, diverse number of species, from single-celled organisms to complex multicellular life, including plants, mammals, dinosaurs, and more. So I see a picture in the background of a house, so I imagine eventually you would get it up to the level of even having some human-like life form evolve into it. There's a game, PC Gamer has an article called Heaven's Vault Gameplay Trailer showcases the new project from the 80 Days studio. Inkle 80 Days was a like 80 Days Around the World, kind of black and white-ish, I think. I don't remember it too much to really say too much about it, honestly. This looks a little different. It seems like you're kind of doing a maybe point and click adventure style game with a unique thing, and it's this Arabian woman with a robot trying to translate what looks like Arabic text. Seems weird. And then it jumped to a scene of her going through like some weird spaceship. There's this weird phasing and fading that happens every time you move. An entire lost language to decipher. So I guess I'm wrong about it. And every choice is remembered. So if you translate things wrong, Heaven's Vault. It's an interesting idea. Like, I've seen a lot of movies. There's a whole the movie series called The Prophecy that was sort of had the same feeling in some of their movies, at least. The Prophecy movie series being a pretty bad sci-fi series. Let's see. The article says Heaven's Vault is the story of an archaeologist, Alaya Al-Sarah, who sails the nebula with her robot sidekick 6. It seems like you're getting really crazy that you're going all across a nebula, finding and translating inscriptions written in the lost language of the ancients. Inkle narrative director explained, and when we say language, we really mean it. For Heaven's Vault, we're creating an entire language for you to figure out as to you play. Now, it's worth pointing out that there was kind of an entire language in No Man's Sky too, and there was kind of an entire language in Myst and Riven, the sequel to Myst. So it's not unheard of for puzzle games to do that. It might be a good excuse for me to play Riven, however. So this game has caught my attention. It seems strange that you would have a headscarfed archaeologist lady, but this whole world seems kind of strange. Like in Heaven's Vault, I don't even know what that means. Seems like you're gonna go to a variety of places now that I'm looking at the screenshots. So I'm gonna add that to the wish list. It's coming in 2018, it says. So we'll keep an eye out on it, see if more things come out and are reported about it. 2 more victories needed. Got lucky there, I think. This may be the first time ever that my comments have filled up the entire page. Probably not, but almost certainly not. But it's the first time in a long time that we've had a lot of people commenting, and that's nice. PC Gamer has an article, Bill Gates blasts cryptocurrency, says they are the causes of deaths in a fairly direct way. It's certainly true. Cryptocurrency people were using bitcoins to hire hitmen and buy drugs and do other illegal activities, certainly. And of course, even in the guns debate, the argument is you can blame the tool or you can blame the person holding the tool. There is a slight difference, I suppose, in the guns debate, where you can make the argument that guns are a tool designed to do only one thing, hurt and kill people, where cryptocurrency was designed to just be a new form of currency to use for multiple things. That being said, I'm not big into cryptocurrency, and I also suspect that Bill Gates might be sitting on a stockpile Bitcoin. If I was to guess, a lot of rich people probably are, to hide money and not pay taxes. Fanatical is still attempting to push people away from the Humble Bundle store to buy bundles from Fanatical. I think the idea is kind of obvious now that I think about it. If you buy a bundle on Fanatical, which is the new name, and the like IGN or Game Informer, one of those review sites now owns Humble Bundle, and then they spun off half of the Humble Bundle store and called it Fanatical. I think the idea is if you buy a Fanatical bundle, you are not donating any money to charity, and you might not be donating any different amount than you normally would be to the developers. And donating here is probably the wrong term, because you're actually purchasing a product, not donating money at all. But Fanatical has Bundle Fest 9 that, and tiered Nemesis Bundle 6, get $15 for $9. Let's see. I probably just need to go to Fanatical's website, since I haven't really been there, and see what I can see. Honestly, compared to the Humble Bundle website, that they've done some things that look a little bit better. They're making it a little bit clearer whether you're going to get a Steam key for a game or not. And if people want to buy their games on Fanatical because they're cheaper than Steam, that makes sense. Yeah, this anime chest bundle caught my attention immediately. An amazing bundle of Steam card games. Let's see. And there's a tiered system where you get 3 games for $1, and then tier 2 gets you, let's see, how many is that? 5 games if you pay $2.50, which actually means you're paying $1.50 more for 2 games where you were paying $1 for 3 games before. So they're trying to trick you with some bad offerings. And then $3.50 for $1 more, you get 4 games, which is to say you're getting 1 more game than you would have gotten for $1 if you paid the $3.50. Not a bad bundle in total, though. If the top tier is only $3.50 and it gives you 12 probably boring anime games you'd never play in your life. Let's see, the Fear bundle is $5. It's 91% off. I want to get the Fear games eventually. Talisman bundle, Shadow of Mordor bundle is $5. And by having fans buy on bundles and getting Steam keys and just sending me the Steam keys through a direct message on Twitter, that allows people to buy bundles for themselves, and then when they just have a duplicate or not. I'm not seeing any bundle here that is dropping out. There's too many of them, frankly. That's the problem, is they're confusing the consumer here, in this case me, because there's just too many bundles. Speaking of sales, RWBY, commonly phrased Ruby, Grim Eclipse is 50% off. What's the review status? Mostly positive. 75 of 78 users like this game. Ruby is a Rooster Teeth game, and that's slightly interesting. It also has the videos of the show of Ruby as a bundle that you could buy. Not that I would ever want to own video content on Steam. That seems crazy. Is this one wishlisted already? Yep. So that's 51% off, or 50% off, so it's $10. Probably not a great deal, but it is also possible that the what am I trying to say? That during a summer sale, during another point in time, you'd be able to get it cheaper. But it is also possible that this is just one of those games that never goes on sale. The most helpful review here is not recommended after 11 hours. The gameplay is 2.5 out of 10 according to this. And it says, the gameplay just isn't there. It's poorly executed, extremely repetitive, and lackluster hack and slash. If you know how to use RMB and right mouse button and left mouse button, then you are already a master at the game. I think they tried to resolve this by adding a prestige system, but that doesn't really provide the motivation to play the story again. They also added the other horde-like mode, but that gets boring before you even finish the first game of it. As the only additional gameplay element here is placing some turrets and sometimes, or something like that. I honestly can't remember, as I haven't played this game for about a year, which you could argue makes this review unreliable, but to be fair, the game also hasn't updated at all for about the same amount of time, so nothing has actually changed since then. Story, 1 out of 10, we'll skip that. Pros, the fighting in this game is honestly more quality than what you've been getting in Volume 4 and 5 of the show. The soundtrack is pretty good, so there's that. Cons, the game is major OF. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. And just about everything I mentioned above except for the pros, though. So yeah, for me, Ruby is a search engine optimization game. A hack and slash I'd probably play up for about 11 hours, maybe a little less, if I can run through it, and not something that I would want to play forever. But it is, as a YouTuber, something of interest to cover because of that. H1Z1, which renamed itself to H1Z1 Battle Royale and Auto Royale, is, I believe, out of early access today. And it has 46% of the reviewers giving it a positive review. H1Z1 is garbage that people just manage to play a lot of. It's just not polished, it's just not updated, it's just not finished. Here we can scroll down to a negative review. Like, there's some major negative reviews a few months ago. What makes a game good? Free content, something we've never played. Something before. Oh, they changed their name to Just Survive to try and get away from a lot of the reviews. Great game killed by the developers. Only a miracle unknown to mankind can save this game. Terrible, not enough players. Game filling up slower and slower daily. Devs don't fix the game. Shotgun doesn't work. FPS issues. Don't buy, don't buy, don't buy. Let's see. Trash and a waste of money. A lot of people not putting very helpful reviews, but PUBG exists is one review. Yep. I don't think anybody should buy or play H1Z1, but it is out there, so that's what's reporting as far as news. Oh man, I was supposed to break up a recording after that game. I forgot. There's a point and click game called Apocalypse, Apocalipsis, that was released February 28th. And you are pretty much getting the inside scoop here on this one. It looks very interesting, but it only has like 5 user reviews right now. I think for the artistic style, it's worth me checking it out, but I can't really recommend it to anybody else because it's just a brand new game. This is part of the reason why I started late today. Is there's this Twitter feed called What's on Steam, and they have a secondary Twitter feed that I forgot the name of it, but it takes the feed from What's on Steam and makes 6-second videos of the trailers of Steam games. And so I'm now, for the moment at least, looking at every single game that comes out on Steam to try to get some inside scoops to try and talk about games. I would recommend checking out Apocalypse, looking at their site, seeing if it interests you. If you're willing to spend the $7 on a point-and-click adventure game, which is really expensive for a point-and-click adventure game, but maybe not crazy. I mean, at a certain point, brand new point-and-click adventure games kind of do have to be about $10 if they're going to make any money. But there's a lot of bad ones that aren't worth 99 cents too. Let's see. We don't need to talk about Facebook adding features. PC Gamer has done an interesting article here. Called FTL like Sea Adventure Game Abandoned Ship Shows Great Potential. This is very odd because they fully admit in the first sentence that Into the Breach is releasing this week. And so Into the Breach, the sequel from the creators of FTL, the game that should be reported with FTL in the title, is being used to secretly advertise by PC Gamer this game called Abandoned Ship, and saying nothing of the quality, because I don't know the quality of Abandoned Ship. It's just sleazy, it's slimy, it's trickery to try and hitch your wagon to somebody else's sequel and steal some thunder. Abandoned Ship is in early access. There's literally no news right now that should have been reported about Abandoned Ship. They should be talking about the game that just came out, Into the Breach. The game which they specifically reviewed 93 out of 100, so they already know it's a good game. And that's clearly the reason that why they decided to hitch another game's wagon to it. And I need a better example or phrase there. Gamasutra has an article called Become a Better Producer in a Day at the GDC 2018 Producer Bootcamp. I'm not going to read this article. It's both probably helpful if you are a new producer in the game industry to go to these conventions and these speeches and learn from your co-workers or people who work in the same field as you. On the other hand, in my consistent ranting about the groupthink and the groupthink that happens in the video game industry, doing any job in the video game industry exactly like everybody else is just going to have the same boring, repetitive game come out. And I don't want to see that. I want to see variety. I want to see better quality things done differently. But I mean, producing a game, probably there is more likely to be a right way to produce a game than there is a right way to write or animate a game. It's very possible that there's a proven track record and system to use when producing and managing people. Of course, anybody in the audience of a speech like that who isn't a producer probably is going to find that incredibly boring. Gamasutra has another article. Accounting Plus and Untitled Goose Game have been nominated for the 2018 A-Maze Awards. So A-Maze announced 25 games. I don't know why only those two are getting mentioned. Let's see. I may have already even gone through all of these nominations. And zoom in and make the text bigger. I swear this website is taking up half of the screen with its bar. I'm at 100%. It's taking a third of the screen up. This is ridiculous, and I may just leave the entire place because of this. Alright, no. Well, trying to quickly scroll through these, most of the games that have been nominated to the Amaze Awards are like small indie things that I've never seen, things that probably aren't even out yet. I can't get the actual details or names because this website is written so poorly and displaying so poorly. Let's see. If I use this and click this. Nope, that doesn't work either. Forget it. So forget that story. This will do 4. This will do this. 3 copies of this one guy. Actually, that wouldn't be a terrible thought, would it? Or 3 copies of this guy. Drake of the 99 Dragons is coming to Steam on March 6th, according to Gematsu. Sounds like this is an old game. It was originally launched for the Xbox in 2003 and followed by PC in 2004. It's coming to Steam on March 16th by Majesco. It had a Metacritic score of 22 out of 100. The third-person shooter is notorious for being one of the worst reviewed games on Xbox. Let's see. Well, in an effort to probably just irritate myself, I think I have to put one of the worst games ever on my wish list. It looks crazy, and there won't be any reviews for it until it comes out. But if I'm to be a good critic, I can't just play the good games and ignore the bad ones. Let's see. We have Brandon saying hello from Florida. Hello. Although you probably shouldn't tell people that you're in Florida, because a couple weeks people will know where you live and be knocking at your door. Of course, maybe Brandon's an alligator from Florida. Interesting. Drake and the 99 Dragons. Never heard of it. So, if it was, it's probably not the worst Metacritic game ever. As a user score of 1 of 8. No, 1.8. So why do people hate it so much? Let's look at the Metacritic reviews. I've never actually looked at Metacritic reviews. Somebody gave it a 10 out of 10 out of a joke. Seems a couple people have done that. Let's see. Even at $20, it's the worst and dull. It's unoriginal. When the loading screen is prettier than anything in the game, then you know you've got problems. See, IGN said, it would be nice to see somebody develop a game with a character that can fire 2 weapons independently, and then again, maybe there's a reason why nobody's done it yet. Drake tried, but it looks like we said nobody has done it yet. This game is one of the 10 worst games I've ever played. Some fun facts. The game was supposed to get a PC release, its own comic book, and Vivendi Universal was supposed to publish the game in Europe. But thanks to the fact that the game was unanimously panned by critics, it didn't get any of those things. The gameplay is imprecise and unpredictable, which leads to numerous unfair deaths. The missions are boring and the levels are full of glitches, such as the ability to go through walls and enemies getting stuck on objects. The music is absolutely awful. The game graphics look like an N64 visuals in real time to looking like some hideous PS1 title during the cutscenes. Let's not forget Drake has one of the worst storylines ever in history. Avoid at all costs. What's a worst game out there? Let's see. Let's see. Brennan says, I think the city is in. I'm not going to repeat it. Deadshot says the best game is Knack 2, and the best Final Fantasy ever is Final Fantasy X. Most opinions are subjective, except for mine, which are not subjective. Is that the argument? I think almost all opinions are subjective, if that's what makes them an opinion. Worst game, Knack 2, baby. Gematsu has an article. New indie publisher Graffiti Games has been formed, announcing titles from 13 AM Games, Serenity Forge, and Space Mace Games. 4 names of companies I've never heard of, which seems to mean something. This guy is just constantly throwing things back at me. Let's see, the unannounced title, a game called The King's Bard, and a game called Juggernauts. The veteran team at Graffiti Games has more than 50 years experience in successfully positioning and launching titles on various platforms, and aims to use that experience to create effective and efficient programs. Although whoever wrote this article misspelled programs, they added a T for its developing partners. So claiming you have 50 years experience is easy, because you could have 50 employees with 1 year's experience, or you could have 1 employee with 50 years experience, and those are very different things. Let's do this. Deadshot, worst game, Knack 2, baby. Oh, I already read that one. Let's see. 13 AM Games is the studio behind Runbow. Follow The King's Bard. Has a trailer. It looks like a 8-bit Super Meat Boy platforming game. Something we've seen way too much of. And Juggernauts looks more like a platforming 4-character puzzle-ish platforming game where you have to choose the color matching elements of characters. It says shouting colors at your friends. I haven't seen or heard any of these games, so or any of these companies, so this is really kind of uninteresting information. Doesn't seem like any of them have any real reputation. Alright, so let's do this. We've failed to get 2 Shaman cards. 2 more victories. We've gone long, and I need to go over to the Americas account and play the Tavern Brawl. So we're in a downright awful position because I haven't gotten everything I needed to get done for the European or the Asian account, and I'm moving over to the Americas account. We're probably going to have a really long post-game show. That's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to further follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. If you want to support me, gift me something on Steam. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.